This 5-minute trading view scalping strategy made 254% in the backtest. The strategy uses a newer and improved version of the RSI indicator that provides a lot better signals for the strategy that we will be using today. The backtest was done on the price of Bitcoin. However, this strategy can be traded on many other markets such as crypto, forex, and stocks. For the backtesting of the strategy, we use Trader's Edge. You can try out their service for free. Now that we have gotten all of that out of the way, let's start. First, let's change the time frame of the chart to the 5-minute time frame. After that, head over to the Indicator Search tab and search for the Rainbow Adaptive RSI indicator. Select the indicator made by Lux Algo and add it to the chart. Now the indicator will be added to the chart. As you can see, the indicator looks a bit different than the RSI indicator. This is because the indicator is actually an oscillator that uses an adaptive moving average as an input for another RSI oscillator and aims to provide a way to minimize the impact of retracements over the oscillator output without introducing significant lag. The indicator can be used like any normalized oscillator, but unlike a classical RSI, it does not converge toward 50 with higher length values. This is caused by the RSI using a smooth input. The trigger line is a smooth RSI using an EMA as input, and it won't remain as near to 100 as the main oscillator. Using a moving average of the main oscillator as a trigger line would create faster crosses, but this approach allows the indicator to have no crosses when a retracement is present. So to put this simply, we can see that whenever the two lines cross each other, a circle will appear. And based on this signal, we will determine when to buy or sell. Now let's head over to the settings and see what inputs can be changed. As you can see, just like with the RSI, we can change the length of the indicator. However, we won't be doing that. Instead, we will keep this indicator on default settings. First, let's go over when to enter into a buy position. We will enter into a buy position whenever a circle is printed and the line is pointing in the upwards direction. So let's take this setup for example. We see here that a circle is printed and that the lines are facing upwards. This means that we can enter into a buy position. We will be putting the stop loss at the recent swing low, and for the take profit, we will be targeting a 1.5 times risk to reward ratio. Now let's take a look at when to enter into a sell position. We will enter into a short whenever a circle is printed and the line is pointing downward. This indicates that the market might be trending toward the bearish side. As you can see here, the condition has been met, and so we will enter into a short position. Once we are in the position, we will place the stop loss at the recent swing high. After that, we will target a 1.5 times risk to reward ratio for the take profit. As you can see, the trade was profitable again. Hopefully we could make the way the indicator works a bit more clear. Now let's add some other indicators to the chart to optimize the strategy. Head over to the Indicator Search tab and search for the EMA Cross indicator. Select the indicator made by Shalmis. The last indicator we will be adding to the chart is the Trend Meter indicator. Search for the Trend Meter indicator and select the indicator made by LIJ. After adding the indicators to the chart, close the Indicator Search tab. Let's now change the indicator settings to make sure the indicators will perform well. First, head over to the EMA settings. Now head over to the Style tab. We will be changing the color of both lines. Change the first EMA to yellow. After doing that, change the second EMA color to red. That was all that we needed to change regarding EMA. Close the Settings tab and navigate to the Trend Meter settings. Go to the Style settings and deselect the Wave Trend Signals. Do the same for the Trend Meter Align. Now scroll down and change both the thin trend bar lines to circles. This will make it easier for us to read this indicator. We are now done with changing the indicator settings. Using these indicators, we can filter out a lot of false signals that the Rainbow RSI might provide. Now let's take a look at when to enter into a position by using all three indicators. Let's first take a look at when to enter into a long position. Firstly, the 50 and 200 EMA must have crossed to the upside, indicating that we are currently in a bullish market. Secondly, we will check the Rainbow RSI indicator. The circle was printed and the Rainbow RSI is pointing to the upside. This again indicates that bullish momentum has entered into the market. Lastly, we need to check the trend meter and make sure that all the dots on the trend meter are green. As you can see, all of the conditions were met, so we will enter into a long. We will put the stop loss at the recent swing low or right below a recent support point. For the take profit, we will target a 1.5 times risk to reward ratio. As you can see, the trade was very profitable. Now let's take a look at a different long so that you will fully understand how the strategy works. As you can see, a circle has been printed by the rainbow RSI indicator while the line is pointing to the upside. This indicates bullish momentum is entering the market. If we look at the two EMA, we see that both moving averages cross to the trend meter indicator to make sure that the upside recently. Lastly, we need to take a look at the signal is valid. We can see that all three dots are green. This means that all three conditions have been met, so we will now enter into a buy position. We will put the stop loss at the recent swing low or just below a support point. For the take profit, we will target a 1.5 times risk to reward ratio. As you can see, the trade was profitable again. Now let's take a look at when to enter into a short. Firstly, the 50 and 200 EMA must have crossed to the downside, indicating that we are currently in a bearish market. Secondly, we will need to check the rainbow RSI indicator. We can see that a circle was printed and the rainbow RSI is pointing to the downside. This again indicates that bearish momentum has entered the market. Lastly, we need to check the trend meter and make sure that all the dots on the trend meter are red. This is also the case, so this means that all the conditions were met. Knowing this, we will enter into a short position. We will put the stop loss at the recent swing high or right above a recent resistance point. For the take profit, we will target a 1.5 times risk to reward ratio. As you can see, the trade was very profitable again. With 15x leverage, we were able to profit $2,543 with a strategy starting with $1,000. This means that we made around 254% with the strategy. We can also see that we had 27 wins and 22 losses, which means that the profit factor was around 1.75. This is quite good for such a simple strategy. During the backtest, we did notice that the EMA filtered out many false signals, however, it also filtered out many valid signals. So maybe it would have been better to only use one EMA with a length of 100. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel.